Hey everyone, welcome back to Tony Hawk's Underground 2. I'm Insetic, with me again is Blank Tester.
Hey kids, how's it going?
Canuck Dude.
Hey.
And Zindictive.
Sup, lads?
Alright, before we actually head into Boston, I'm gonna show off some of the, create-a modes, like Create a Skater, or the new Create a Graphic. What I'm actually showing here is that I made Thug 1 Steve for that first video. The default outfit is completely different, but once again, Neversoft put in some wacky characters already, baked into the game, so once again, they're doing my job for me. But yeah, I guess Thug 2 Chris is the default here. So they've, we'll look at Create a Graphic in a bit, that's the new thing, but they've definitely scaled back on, basically gotten rid of Create a Board. You can put your created graffiti graphic as the Create a Board, but honestly, it doesn't look super good.
It doesn't look good.
Yeah, they've basically gotten rid of that, which is kind of sad, because it was sort of fun to do that.
But they really went far with the sticker slaps.
Yeah, then there's a massive list of stickers to pick, and then we're going to jump into Create a Graphic, which honestly is really complex.
It's one of these things.
It gives you 10 layers, and on every layer, you could select like a graphic or a background, put some text, put in sort of a border kind of thing. You're gonna see me, whip something together without even really putting any thought in, and then I'm gonna go, this sucks. Let me just use one of the pre-made ones, and thankfully again, Neversoft, put in some pre-made ones that are actually competent. I mean, this is just one of those things where there's so many options that I just get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Didn't they have a Call of Duty game where they had you could create your own logo or whatever, and you had to do it out of primitive shapes, right? Like squares and circles and stuff, and people would make all kinds of crazy things. Wasn't that a thing?
This sounds a little familiar, but I never played the Call of Duty games.
It was like Black Ops 3 or something.
Yeah.
Buy more stuff.
Yeah, but look at that. That's a, pre-made, that is all of the layers, and so, I'm basically just gonna use some of theirs, 90% someone else's work. But now let's go to Boston.
Brutal road trip. Gas station burritos plus a van crammed with dudes. Nothing like a 90-mile-an-hour Dutch oven. So you ready to get rolling? Start out by knocking out the stuff that'll rack us up some serious points.
That's a really fast tour van.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, we could probably talk now. So, it's going to go over the introductory list of goals, basically your skater's goals. And then you also get to select a pro teammate from, Tony Hawk's team. Let's just start at the top with Bob Burnquist for this.
Mm-hmm. So what does it mean to have a pro teammate?
Alright, so in every level, there will be a group of people that are on your team that you could skateboard with. There will be you, a pro, and then a secret skater and a guest in every level. And right now, you just have the list of objectives that are tied to you. When you find the other people and you switch to them, then you will unlock more objectives to do. Now, you don't necessarily have to do an objective with the person who unlocked it, like with the person whose list it's under. Some goals will require specific vehicles, and the guest in every level is always on a different vehicle. Like here, I'll just spoil it. It's Jesse James from Monster Garage. He's going to be on a souped-up, Segway kind of thing.
Huh.
Yeah.
And, some goals like destroy the grind blockers. Only he's going to have the power to do so. But otherwise, if it's unlocked by someone who skateboards, anyone else who could skateboard can do those. But to kind of ease everybody in, or at least to ease you into the idea, here in Boston, I will do each goal with the person whose list that goal is on.
Who's unlocked it,
thoughtful.
There is one issue, though. There is one issue. There are some goals where you have to do a different goal before you unlock that one. So, Yeah, with one of your goals here, which is the UV one, you have to do Jesse James' mission before you can actually do the last one for your character.
Yeah. But, I mean, that really shows kind of what the gameplay loop is going to be like and how much is included in all of these levels. It's not a linear kind of thing of, oh, you have to do this one story goal to do the next. You're going to have a lot to do. I think that's going to be, 28 goals in every level?
Yeah.
3 groups of 8, 8, 8, 4, 4. So
Yeah.
24 in each level. But yeah, you're always going to have a pro, you're always going to have that secret skater, and you're always going to have a guest, which is sometimes a real person, sometimes not. But also, Boston is definitely front-loaded with Easter eggs, with fun things to find, and I'm going to ride around and show all of them off. Like, hey, we're getting the goat Easter egg out of the way.
Yeah.
Oh, this isn't even a cop.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, you really intruded on that guy's time, and you just fucking knocked him over. Like, I'd be upset if you fucking interrupted that kind of time. With
Maybe that's what he needed.
Yeah. And
needed a
there's
rude
also a very timeless one.
Yeah, on the other side,
Oh.
yeah, there's a kid.
Can you
He
guess
normally
what
says,
this
like,
is?
Get out of the way, but yeah, you activate the power.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you
Star
remember
Wars
Star
Kid.
Wars Kid?
Oh.
God, you guys remember when, like, internet jokes would last for years?
Yeah.
Yeah, now the next big meme comes and goes within, like, a week.
Remember how
Yeah.
everybody liked it when, media liked to reference these kinds of memes?
Yeah.
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 I don't remember if it was an SGC video, if it was an aesthetic video, but you guys were talking about how, like, Borat had to be funny for, like, 5 years until, like, the next funny movie came out.
Yeah, that was Steel Donut. Yeah, like, think about it. If y'all might be too young to think, like, yeah, back in the day, movie jokes, like, needed to last a long time. Like Austin Powers had to be in the collective consciousness for 5 years until Borat showed up.
Yeah.
Or dethroned, I'm fought Boston. But
Yeah. Thank God it did.
yeah, but also Boston is, real full of these bonus little
Buskers.
areas, like just down here in the subway where, yeah, you can get that guy to play guitar and you can also play dangerously yourself. Flirt with disaster.
I earlier Tony sent a text message to you, and I was hoping we'd see another text. Does the text messages in game, are they written in like proper grammar, or are they written like in text lingo?
They're written in proper grammar.
They're mostly proper
There's
grammar.
only
That's good. I'm
there's
really
only,
glad
like,
because
one that's like
because
that.
like way back in the day, they there was probably somebody on the team who was suggesting, oh, there he is, Ben.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's your homie,
But,
Benny Franks.
there was probably somebody who was saying, oh yeah, we should write these like people write text, but like, let's be honest, these days, like, we don't, like, I'm glad they the
man,
clowns.
look at the social commentary, Bankers,
Yeah.
just a bunch of clowns.
Hard-hitting social commentary.
Hard-hitting.
Right
It's
there.
interesting that Ben Franklin was hanging out with the bankers.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
social commentary too, kind of.
Because if you kind of like smash Benjamin Franklin together, you get Benklin.
Oh,
Banklin.
Banklin.
Yeah, so yeah, here I'm kicking off the creative tricks by, again, showing the ones that are built into the game as pre-mades from Neversoft. And they definitely, knew the system a lot more than, they did in Thug 1 when it was first introduced. They've got
Almost
some
stylish.
pretty cool looking ones.
That tweak out one is really cool.
Yeah.
Are you gonna have viewer tricks and?
Yes, I have asked
Okay.
for viewer tricks, and over the next levels I'll incorporate viewer tricks plus some of mine. Same kind of thing.
Also,
And,
hi,
what about-
cheers. I mean, cheers.
Yeah, everyone knows your name.
Yeah.
You
What
ever
are you
seen
gonna
a
ask?
skate park that can do
I was
that?
gonna say, are you gonna have cool ones like that one where you just like do a half a kick flip and then fart?
I mean, that was a good idea, but I already used it.
No, I mean like
You'll
similar
just-
things.
You'll just have to see what other people come up with.
Okay.
Honestly, it's like
We're
and the
relying on
creative
you,
trick is
the viewer.
basically the same. So it's like some people had some ideas, but most of the ideas got out of the way in Thug 1, and also I ran out of ideas, so... yeah, but, yeah, so just as another example of just kind of what you're going to expect here, like the tone and such, yeah, like our, buddies we hang out with is, we can go pick Bob Burnquist, but yeah, then we've got like a Ben Franklin skateboarder and Jesse James from Monster Garage, not American Chopper, I got that wrong, I do not remember my, early 2000s garage show lore as well, but...
Yeah, like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, it's just like... But it's just like, yeah, they're not trying to be realistic, they're not trying to...
Yeah, they're not. Also, Jackass bonus. They literally called that a Jackass bonus.
Yeah.
I
feel like there was something else along the way.
I wanted to point out, this may be what you wanted to mention, but you got a few of those spat tags before you even talked to the guy who quote-unquote gave you the mission.
Yeah.
Because he didn't really even give you the mission. He was just a guy on the map who told you.
Are they really
Right.
telling people not to read?
Don't read a book. Go play a video game.
Reading cures insomnia. Wow.
I mean, they always say...
Hot
like,
loser.
You went to go read a book, you're a loser.
I mean, they always say, like, you remember our high school math teacher, Bob, was like, if you're ever having trouble, sleeping at night, pop open the math textbook, you'll be out in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's always, or usually, someone on the map who you could talk to who will kind of explain a goal or such, but if you've unlocked it off the list, you could do that goal at any time, so talking to anyone is optional. Yeah. So one of our goals here, and I'm not going to, like, pause and go down the list for everyone, just because, I mean, these already take long enough, but yeah, one of the goals is to get the sick kid to Tony Hawk, and yeah, you could do a sweet grab trick with him.
That's great.
I was trying to, like, air off the dumpster and get as much air as possible, but, like...
Yeah. That's a nice touch.
Honestly, and in the context of the game, what a pretty wholesome goal, that gave you points. Like, normally you're ruining the lives of people, but you made that kid's day,
Well, you made his day, but he was with doctors.
Yeah, and you kind of stole him.
You took him away from medical professionals to take him to a
he met Tony
skateboard.
Hawk and
literally
he
kidnapped
suddenly
the
felt
child.
better.
Yeah.
Look,
Fucking,
Antonio
he
Hawk
felt like he was gonna go skate now.
Antonio Hawk is a great guy, and I'm sure he recognizes the importance of the medical field. He probably recognizes that their work is, let's be honest, a little more important than his work.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
also...
I know, hot take.
Here's the call out the trick thing, but it's now a beatbox thing.
Oh.
Yeah, this shows up every so often. It's all right. Yeah, you need to basically do the trick on the beat, aka when the text is read. So it's kind of cool. Oh, but we got another text message.
Hey, Bam.
It's
look at
from
that.
Bam.
Oh.
Written like a human.
Blast. Yeah, what do you get when you blast a bunch of drunks through an electric
For
fence?
electric fence, 100 points.
Yeah. Imagine that. Them going, and they're like skeletons showing, like, hilarious. But
Time for the Brazilian
your-
action.
Yeah, your pro skater is down here, and it's always the same pro goals, whichever pro skater you pick. So I could have picked Rodney Mullen, I could have picked Muska, I could have picked Mike V, and it's just...
But you're basically picking based on stats and your preference.
preference, really.
Yeah.
There's a
It
reason
seems like their
to why
stats were all
Bob was
fairly
chosen.
similar.
Yeah, their stats are basically the same. I cannot tell a 7 out of 10 in something versus a 9 out of 10 here.
Yeah.
Again, they've just made it easy enough to do everything that you're not picking someone just because they have max balance or whatever. But, like, here's an example. Paulie won't race us unless we have the motorized vehicle, aka unless we're Jesse James. Actually, one thing I will complain about is that with the other skaters, like Bob or Ben Franklin or, Jesse James, they all have their own special trick list that does not translate what you picked for your trick list. So, especially, like in Thug 1, I struggled with the created tricks that I added because I'd basically have to do them all in one block because I could not trust, that I'd be able to do them enough, that I'd be able to have the opportunities. Here especially, you play as yourself potentially so little and play as other characters who don't have your trick loadout that a lot might get lost. Like, Bob Burnquist does not have those special tricks, like, he has his own list, whatever. but you get it. But
Yeah.
what if we light our board on fire and grind some cannons? What'll happen then?
And this is the first destruction.
Destruction! Yeah. So in every level, there's a destruction event like that. Sometimes they're part of a goal. Like sometimes you do them as that, but sometimes they're optional. Like here in Boston,
Yep.
I didn't need to do that. I grinded one cannon. That was enough to fulfill that, but I want to show it off, you know?
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah, so with that, we kind of put the construction site back into some more pieces and gave ourselves a few more ramps and such over there. It's kind of weird. That doesn't give us any new gaps. I would have thought that would be, you'd have to do that to get a gap or such.
Yeah.
But let's also get up to the big billboard now, actually, after I show this off. Kind of show what we got, excuse me.
I mean, it does add a few things to, like, the area, but ultimately it's not a big improvement on the level.
Yeah, I
few
think that was a
ramps.
missed opportunity. Like, imagine either lip tricking there or jumping up, like, either of those two being a gap.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But let's get up to the big billboard. And a weird thing about this. Okay, so in the tutorial level, in training,
You could climb those.
everything you had to climb, you just had to push up against the thing to climb. This thing, you have to hit right trigger.
Yeah.
And in fact, if you look this up on the internet, back when this game came out, a lot of people were like, and this, I'm just gonna talk over this. This is just
Tagging.
This is just a loop of Disturbed's Liberate every time, while your guy does a sick tag.
Liberate,
That's
man.
unfortunately built into the level. I asked Tyler Lasagna if we could modify those, and he said no, which is sad, because I really wanted to make that Tony 20. But yeah, so you only need to complete 500 points of objectives to actually move on, but we're going to be completionists here.
Yeah,
And,
with difficulties, the score you need is actually different. With easy, it's like 200, 300. On sick, it's about 700.
It's 800.
But,
Yeah.
so you look that up, and people complain about that thing you can climb, like, oh, I can't grab it no matter what. And yeah, because now you have to hit a button. You have to hold right trigger to
Is
start.
that true for the rest of the game, or is it
No,
just like...
it goes, climbable things go back and forth between you being able to just push against it and you having to hit the trigger to grab it.
Huh.
It's
I
really
wanna
weird,
say-
but you could tell which ones you need to hit the trigger for by looking it up and seeing a bunch of people complain that they can't grab it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to
That's
say,
the quickest way to tell.
That's not a fault on them. It's really weird that the game isn't consistent. But all right.
It is weird.
I wanted to say though, in terms of small quality of life improvements, on the topic of grabbing things with the triggers, in Thug 1, you couldn't climb up something by just jumping and repeatedly pressing the grab on button. Well, you can do that in Thug 2. You can climb up the ladder by just jumping repeatedly and then pressing R1 on PS2 or the right trigger on PC, and that'll help you climb things faster.
Yeah.
And just a small quality of life improvement, because there's no real reason that you shouldn't be able to do that. Because it's not like this game is one that's particularly realistic. But I just really like that they made that a thing that
Yeah.
you could do
Also, what that was just there is a reoccurring goal that you're going to be doing in every level called Team Challenge. Like, every goal you can do, like, one person for every one of the goals, but in Team Challenge, it involves almost everybody.
Yeah. So, like here, you'll need all 3 people who can skateboard to do something.
In front of an
Oh, he's got a
inliner.
custom animation. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
There's, the kind of animation for, like, wobbling about on a skateboard if they're someone like Ben Franklin trying to skateboard. But
And, there's another thing where some of the skaters also have their own special tricks that you unlock when you talk to them.
right,
Like-
that's the new way you get new special trick
Yeah.
slots. Each person,
Oh, I see.
one person in each level will have a new special trick. Here it's, Ben Franklin with his Franklin grind. and now you have a new custom trick slot. Have you also noticed that the time of day changed?
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah.
That's because in this game, there's a true day to night cycle, which Skylar said is 24 minutes, so basically 1 hour each minute. And I believe you start a level basically at midday, because it always feels like night comes pretty quick and then sticks around for a while.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to start each level at midday.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's basically day, night, and on PC this looks fine, but I will say on console, I imagine this was hell back on bad CRTs, but even on my LED TV, when it goes to night and I need to do stuff, I'm like, Jesus, come on, it's too dark. It can be a little bit.
And then especially like when daybreak comes, like 4 or 5 a.m., it's really foggy and blurry and kind of gross looking.
Sometimes there's kind of a fog weather thing, but like you see, it didn't happen here. Oh, and here's just a fun little gap.
There's also the random chance of there being rain and such.
Once again, I'm trying to show off basically all the highlights of the level, so, a fun little gap there. You grind the teapot sign, and you hear kind of that teapot sound, and then if you keep holding the grind button, you pop on the light, and you get the I'm a little teapot gap.
For a moment, we saw Ben Franklin's face there, and I would really like a still of that. That was horrifying.
Well, luckily there are twice as many frames because I was able to, just like how the game refined everything, I was able to refine my PC setup, Thug 1 was the first time I, played a Tony Hawk game on PC. I was getting that all set up. So, I was recording with Bandicam, which I set it at 60 FPS, but the game only recorded at 30 FPS. It was weird. But here, I figured everything out so that, binding my controls is better. I'm not stuck having the camera be, or walking around be only the 4 directions.
Yeah.
And this is at 60 FPS, as I'm sure you noticed.
Hell yeah.
It will be in the, final video.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, okay, so...
This
all right,
vehicle.
So they got rid of driving. But some of the gimmick characters have these, super-powered vehicles like this, which... is just as hard to control, maybe even harder.
Yeah, it's not fun.
If you're not holding the X button, not holding the, go button, you ride around pretty slowly. It's like menial speed. And then you hit it and you're booming forward at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, and it's also very limited. There'll be a goal where you have to get a score with these kinds of guys, and it's just they are very low scoring on everything.
Yeah, because they're not fully fleshed out, so you could do a flip trick, but whatever direction you press and the flip trick button, it's that bar spin. Whatever direction you hit in a grab, it's, the same animation. On Jesse James, it's weird. You cannot crash with Jesse James.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, that was...
You can crash with some of the other guys later on, but it's just it's just sort of weird. Oh, and then these car hops are so unresponsive.
They are.
Yeah. You had to jump over them short ways, not long ways.
Yeah, and they can't be parked? I don't know, just minor complaints.
You have to register the
But
car
once you do
hop
this
gap.
one, then you'll actually get the thing you need for one of the goals.
But yeah, I guess I'm basically, I think, gonna finish this up and then go back to the pro and me and do the remaining things. So yeah, I guess, Blank Tester, what do you kind of think of this formula, I guess? This kind of...
I'm glad they got rid of the driving. I'm not happy about this, what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
But
it's gonna get dumber. Just saying.
It does seem like you said, they've really refined the mechanics and then kind of just said, whatever, to the, story.
Yeah.
And the other things.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing. If people weren't really invested in the story, that would be fine. I personally got a little invested in the story, so that's a little disappointing for me. But if their target audience, if the majority of their audience wasn't that invested in it, then it doesn't really matter. I can't, I don't really know about that.
Yeah.
I was while I was watching, I was thinking about. I've been thinking a lot about immersive sims, like the Deus Ex games, and oddly enough, the reason I started thinking about it was Postal 2 is basically an immersive sim, but just like a really crass one.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, like, has anybody ever tried to make an immersive sim where, like, the main form of gameplay isn't, like, first-person shooter, but is instead, like, skateboarding or something else? Because, like, a skateboarding immersive sim where you're, like, you're a skateboarder and you can freely explore, and it's all about player choice.
Skate, in a sense.
I guess Skate is kind of like that, yeah. But they would have to flesh out, like, the non-skating stuff, I think.
Yeah.
Quite a lot.
Yeah,
To
I
make
mean-
it more of an immersive sim.
Yeah, no, any skateboarding game is primarily skateboarding
Right.
and non-secondarily anything else, you know, like.
Yeah,
Pretty
because, I
much.
mean, fans of skateboarding are just going to want to skateboard.
Yeah.
I didn't buy this game to do my taxes. I bought this game to do some fucking kickflips.
Well, no, if you don't want to do your taxes, that's the thing about an immersive sim. There's still a tax system. You just don't do it, and
You'll
then the
get
cops come
arrested
after
for
you.
not doing your taxes. But,
Yeah.
Pretty much.
All right, that was 1,000 out of 1,000 points. Let's round this level out.
Hell yeah.
Thug is filmed before a live studio audience.
Donna, your rack is wicked awesome.
Stop it! You're retarded.
No, you are! Nice catch, dumbass! Yes, I'm just doing that chick a favor. You're retarded!
Yo, check it out. The first stage of the competition is over, and leading by 50 points is my team.
Yeah! Right. Holy crap, it's Polly!
Yeah, look out, pooper going through. Please keep your hands inside your porta potty while you take a drink, bitch!
Man, that was awesome!
Oh man, look at that.
Give me that pad. Launch a local. That's 100 points, slackers, and that's a win for us. Which also means it's time for you losers to face the Wheel of Loogies. Phil, why don't you do the honors, fat boy?
Okay. Cut one loose.
Ouch. That means one of us is going home.
Tony's team, circle up around me and let's see who's getting the boot. If I could leave our soon-to-be departed skater with just one final word, it would be fire in the hole!
That sucks.
Bing!
Later, Bergquist. Everybody else, let's hit it. We're heading to Spain. Yeah, I'm driving.
He's gone from the rest of the game.
Never return.
Yeah.
Doesn't come back.
Oh,
Yeah,
what?
that's-
Bob's gone?
That's the real reason I picked Bob Burnquist. Yeah, he's gone after this level. So, yeah, we're
Probably
heading
my
on to
favorite.
Barcelona next. And you know what? I think just like how this game did, Bob, my Bob, I'm voting you off of this LP, baby. Double
Oh,
your
God.
bye-bye. Double your bye-bye. No,
I can't believe this is happening to
I
me.
probably shouldn't. You're probably like,
No, it's too late
entertaining.
now.
You're right. I can't.
I'm
take
gone.
It. All right.
He's packing his bags and going back to Brazil.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out
Yeah.
of here. Have a tennis ball to
Well, I mean,
balls.
Bergquist will text us later, so I guess like you can keep us up to date with like what.
Yeah,
you're
just
doing
let
in
me
your
know
life.
when you're recording and I'll text you.
I'll
Text you video goals. Tell a joke worth 200 points.
Okay, so yeah, we're crossing the Atlantic. We're going to Spain, going to Barcelona next time on Thug 2.